Call the Parliamentary Secretary.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. The proposition that Labor is advancing in the MPI this afternoon is that the budget has had an adverse impact on confidence in the Australian economy. And it is true that the words of the Treasurer in the 2014-15 budget in his speech just recently didn't match the sweeping, the soaring, the inspirational rhetoric that we heard from the previous Treasurer in May 2012, when he said, quote, "The 4 years of surpluses I announced tonight are a powerful endorsement of the strength of our economy. In an uncertain and fast-changing world, we walk tall as a nation confidently living within its means. And didn't the pride swell in our collective breasts that our national economic performance was in such fine hands from the member for Lilley, that everything was going so terrifically well? And if the rhetoric was so good, well, surely Swanee's performance would have been even better. It sounded so great as he was speaking. All of us felt that wonderful sense of confidence. It did require a $45 billion turnaround in just 1 year, from the $43 billion deficit he was on track to deliver to the $2 billion surplus he was claiming. But if Swanee said it could be done, of course it could be done. So how did he actually perform against that inspirational rhetoric, which had us all feeling so proud? What did he actually deliver? Oh my goodness, no, surely not. It can't be right. A deficit of $19 billion in the very year he promised a surplus. And then what about the surplus after surplus that was supposed to be following? It was $50 billion in 2013-14. Surely not, Swanee, surely not. So, is it true, Mr Deputy Speaker, that the budget that the Abbott government, that the member for North Sydney has brought forward and announced, disclosed in May 2014, doesn't quite match that sweeping rhetoric, doesn't promise perhaps the same almost impossible deliverables? Well, actually it doesn't promise impossible deliverables, because as we've seen, when you promise something that is impossible to deliver, you end up with quite a lot of egg on your face. What we've produced, by contrast, Mr Deputy Speaker, is we've produced a credible plan forward, a path to reduce the deficit year after year. So by 2017-18 we will have a deficit which is projected at a mere $2.8 billion. So we have a steady and credible path back towards where we need to get. And I might add, Mr Deputy Speaker, it is a credible plan from the side of politics that has the track record, the side of politics that came in and in 96-97 inherited a $6 billion deficit and turned that into a steady stream of surpluses year after year through a calm, consistent, credible performance. That's what confidence in the economy is about, Mr Deputy Speaker. That's what's going to persuade the Australian people that you have a team, the economic management team, the Prime Minister, the Treasurer, the Minister for Finance in the Abbott Liberal government, the Abbott Liberal National Government, that are on the case to deliver a credible plan to return our economic position and our budgetary position where it needs to be. Now, of course, we could follow the alternative plan that we've heard yet again from the member for McMahon this afternoon, the alternative plan which is essentially to say, not to worry, let's do nothing about it. There's really no problem here. Everything's fine. Keep moving. Nothing to look at here. Of course, the member for McMahon suggested that perhaps innovation and entrepreneurship were the solutions. We didn't have to worry about getting the budget under control, getting the deficit under control, because innovation and entrepreneurship and a bit more vision from this side of the parliament would apparently solve the problem. The irony is rich, Mr Deputy Speaker. The irony is rich. This from the very same Labor Party that, under the member for Lilley in the sad and regrettable days when he was Treasurer, killed off employee share ownership plans in 2009. And if there is one complaint that we hear more than any other from the innovation and entrepreneurship sector of the economy, it is the absence of employee share ownership plan arrangements to allow those companies to be competitive with those in other parts of the world because of the ill-judged actions of the member for Swan back in 2009. So, Mr Deputy Speaker, on this side of the House we have a clear, credible, deliverable plan which is going to produce the right outcome, and that's the way to maintain the confidence and build the economic confidence of the Australian people.
Order. Call the